Hello everybody, and welcome to How Not to Build Rockets with Simons and Robin.
Hello there.
Kind of.
My design patterns have not been brilliant.
Last time we showed you two different ways in which you could build rockets, which would be either very hard to fly or would spontaneously disassemble. So
these have been put back off the drawing board.
Yeah, in order to try and avoid that this time around, I did some parts tests to get some more science. Hooray for science!
Science!
And so we can go to.
So we have more stuff.
This tech tree here.
Glorious technology.
Yes, and the parts tests just I'll run them at high speed in the background so people can see them. But basically, it just involves you can also cancel decline contracts, and you'll often get the same contract again, but with slightly different conditions. So if you've got one that's like flying over Kerbal, you can sometimes cancel it and get landed at Kerbal, which is obviously easy to do. So I did a bunch of that. So now I've got 274 science to spend.
Cool, that's a lot of science.
So first things first, the strut.
Strut
Helps
so there isn't something that our spacemen are going to do.
No, well, they might do, because they might actually survive to be able to brag about flying. So yeah, the struts, very important, very handy. So we'll buy that. 45 science for that node. And this node here, this has the first probe in it, the Theohat Mark 1.
Theohat. That's a good name.
And it's got this winglet as well, which is kind of cool. But mainly the probe body. So now we can do the ship can fly up unmanned with an empty capsule. And we've still got 184 science left. So what's in here? What's this node? Advanced rocketry. So we'll get a radial engine and the larger fuel tank.
Like really advanced rocketry as well.
That's advanced rocketry of the current size. And that one's 45 as well. So that's opened up all of the stuff in the next tier. What else was there? Let's look at 139 to spend. Everything's going to cost 90 in this tier. So this is heavy rocketry, right? So we're starting to get bigger engines and bigger fuel tanks. But I think, I think we'll get the fuel systems node, because that has external fuel ducts, so we can pipe fuel around. And also this nice little engine here, the 487S.
Catchy name.
Which is very lightweight and quite efficient.
Sounds good.
So it's good for putting on using
rockets
on moon landers and things, because it's not got super amount of thrust, but it's quite efficient, so you don't need lots of fuel. Yep. And now we're down to 49 science, so we can't spend anything else.
We have used all our science.
But now we can build better things, because if we go to our tracking station here, we can see that Theohat is still orbiting the planet, going la 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 la, occasionally looking down and going.
He's been there a few months now, really, hasn't he?
He's occasionally looking down and going, "What's that bright flare of light?"
on another failed rocket launch
near the space centre. What's that about? And we've got some debris hanging around as well, but that's at the launch pad, so it'll be cleared when we next launch. Anyway, so what we want to do now is design a less broken rocket.
That's crazy talk.
I know, right? And see if we can get it into orbit and rescue Theohat.
What, 5th time lucky?
I think this is the third attempt, the third one that we filmed anyway. There was another one that went very, very bad in a similar way very, very quickly, so I just didn't bother. Because
let's get ourselves a rocket. Ooh, it's a round bit.
So that's your probe core. Okay. The Theohat, which will be.
So we're going to go up there and probe him. Is that what you're going to say?
Doing the actual flying of the rocket, and we can put this capsule underneath and leave it empty so we can get in.
Oh, right. So we're not even going to have some dude steering it.
No, the probe will be steering it.
Ah.
That's
with many a beeper.
So we need a fuel tank. Probably, maybe that fuel tank there. And an engine. We could use this 909, which is quite cool. Or we could use our new 487S, which has less thrust than the 909, but masses 1/5. So thrust to weight ratio and all that. Yeah, so this has got total delta V of 2 kilometers a second, which once we get it into orbit should be more than enough to rendezvous and pick up
our hapless pilot.
Yes.
Up there, or spaceman.
So we're going to need.
Look at the mighty llama logo in the background there.
Yes.
Great.
So we're also going to need some photovoltaic panels. so that it doesn't run out of power. Because the thing about probe cores is, if they run out of power, they stop.
Ah. So, yeah, that's a bad thing.
And you don't want that, that's bad. So we'll
No.
put some PV panels on, and some rechargeable batteries. Why not? Like that.
Just go down and get some Duracell and stick them in there,
Just
you know.
to keep it,
Yeah, gaffer tape them in.
keep it going. I think we want some radial parachutes on here as well. So we put these on the top, because you can't mount ordinary chutes on top of the stay put because it's rounded.
Yeah.
There isn't a node on top of it, but so we can put some radial ones around the side, and 3 should be enough to land this thing without anybody dying, hopefully. Right, so there's the top stage. We'll just make sure it's decrewed. Like that. Command port is empty. And now we need the lift stage to get it into orbit.
Okay,
So we'll
slam on some stuff.
Stick a decoupler underneath this engine.
We're getting quite posy now, isn't it? It's all little bits and pieces.
Yeah, we've got starting to get some actual useful things. One of the useful things we just got along with the struts is the stack tri-coupler.
The who and the what and the where now.
It means we can put 3 things next to each other rather than just having the one.
Ah,
Turn the rocket into 3.
that's a lot of gaffer tapes going to need to be wrapped around.
Yes, but rather than having long, thin rockets which tend to wobble, we can have shorter, squatter rockets with
Just fatter.
multiple
Oh,
engines
so you
on the bottom of
automatically
them.
put 3 on there.
It's set to 3 times symmetry at the moment. Probably because I did it with the parachutes, but yeah, you set it to the symmetry of the tri-coupler.
Yeah, so we're going to have 3 mighty rockets.
So we can snap these engines on the bottom. See what our bottom stage delta V is. It's 3.131, which isn't enough.
Right.
But this is our new fuel tank as well, incidentally. The FLT 800. Isn't it lovely?
Okay. It
But we can
looks very nice indeed.
rip that off. We can stick a half-size one underneath there. Put this back on the bottom. Thus giving us some more thrust, some more DV. That's 3.854.
What's our magic number?
4.5.
We still need a bit more.
Still a bit more, but
How about some? We could slap some stage. I'm giving design advice here. I remember what happened last time that happened. We could slap something on there.
We could put some solid rocket boosters on though.
Yeah,
which
just
is
to get us up there.
probably a good idea. And we can use you get your radial decouplers on.
Ooh, a good idea from me.
Yay! That happens occasionally. So you get your decouplers on. Go back to propulsion. Find the big solid rocket booster, or the biggest one we currently have.
Yeah.
And make sure it's attached to the decouplers properly, which it looks like it is. If it's off to the side, it won't work very well. And we can see the bottom stage delta V is 1.147, but that's because the bottom stage is just the SRBs.
SRB again?
Solid rocket booster.
Of course. Yes.
So-
I've licked one of those, I'd like to say. This is my finest moments in existence. I went to the Kennedy Space Center and I licked a solid rocket booster. Yeah.
And
Yeah. So that's probably more information than you need to know. But hey.
probably.
Yeah,
Actually,
just outside the Atlantis exhibit. Well worth a visit, I must say.
I think we're probably okay. I don't know.
That looks pretty intimidating,
It's
actually.
not a
Those
bad little rocket.
that solid rocket boosters are pretty meaty.
That's not the biggest one you get.
It does look a bit of a bodge job, though. It's the sort of thing that, you go to the builder and say, "That's a nice rocket you got there, mate, but what it needs is some boosters."
What you want to do is
Let
slap some
these
boosters
threads
on
there,
the side
slap
of it.
them on there, yeah. A bit of gaffer, it'll be great, mate.
Right, so I think that's probably enough to get us where we need to go. We might need to circularize the orbit with the top stage, but there's plenty of DV in the top stage, so it's probably fine. Now we come to the part which we are now able to do, and which we had previously been missing, which is putting struts on things to making sure they don't fall apart.
So stop shaking it apart like a mofo.
Yeah, so for example, we can put struts from the tops of the boosters onto that bit there.
Ah.
That would be very helpful.
So someone has invented string. That's what you're saying, really.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And we can strut from here to here. And this, I've still got 3 times symmetry on, so it's doing it on all of them.
That's quite nice, actually. It saves you a lot of less clicking. I mean, we're not playing StarCraft here.
No, exactly. It's not an actions per minute thing. And put struts between the boosters as well, so they won't wobble about at the bottom end.
Yeah.
And that might be good. I'm gonna move the decouplers into the same stage as the liquid fuel engines, just so that as soon as we decouple the boosters, the liquid fuel engines will fire. And you can adjust things as well. We can change, like, because this is at 100% thrust, and solid rocket boosters go at 100, go at the thrust level you set them at in here. You can't change it. But if the thrust weight was wrong, we could potentially adjust it down a bit, because you don't want them going too fast. Otherwise, you're fighting air resistance as well.
There's like a sweet speed, isn't there?
Yeah, depending on how high up you are, there's a wiki page with exactly what they should be and exactly what the altitudes are, and I have it open on another screen.
Aha!
Keep an eye on it. And also we've now got these as well. The launch stability enhancers.
Oh, so it's not just the rocket.
So we can put them on, and those are a bit of the pad.
Excellent. Retractable clampy bits, although it does seem to be quite high up.
Yes, this gives us an extra height boost. We've got another few meters of height before we even fire the engines.
Some might call that cheating, but we like to think of it as resourceful.
Yeah, it's cunning, that's what I like to call it. And we should, if this works, I hope it does, we should call this rescue ship, in case we need to use it again.
In case any other hapless lunatic gets stuck up there for a bizarrely long time.
It probably will happen, so we'll save the rescue ship, and what we'll do again, as the plan was the last time, is we'll put the rescue ship on the pad, so we have an indicator of where the space center is, and then we'll wait until Theohat comes around in his orbit and try and launch up to meet him.
It does look a bit bizarre with all their having up in the middle of nowhere like that. That looks so strange.
It's put Jebediah in the rocket, so that's no good.
They're not really considering weight here, are we?
So
in the construction,
it's actually manned the rocket for some reason, even though I told them to take the crew out. So
do we need to take him out again?
Yep, apparently we do. That was weird. I don't know why it did that. Oh. Save it again. Back to the pad. Okay. And there's no IVA camera, which means there's no crew. So
right.
So we're good. 0 crew of 1. Alright, so now we go back to the Space Center, leave the rocket sitting on the pad, and then we go over here to the tracking center, and we wait, because Theohat's orbiting away from us now. That's where
he's
we are.
Quite a way away. Yeah, he's just zooming off now.
So we'll just time warp around time warping around the planet a bit.
Jump to the left, step to the right, pelvic thrust, etc.
Right. That's probably good enough. We should probably launch.
Yeah, we should be able to hit him from here, spear him on the top. I mean, does it actually do orbital collision? You know, if we actually smack him with a rocket.
If we smack into him, he will go tumbling away. Yes.
That is, I'd like to say, state just for the record, in case everyone's wondering, I think that's bad.
You would be correct. That would not be good. In fact, if we do a braking burn too close to him, the rocket exhaust will send him tumbling away as well, and we don't want that either.
So he's pretty invulnerable then, you know, we can fire the rockets right next to him and he's not going to burn up.
No, did that wrong. Really? He's got the staging slightly wrong there, but saved it. The rocket drops 10 meters before the engines kick in. Whoops. Anyway.
It's a feature, as we like to say in the trade.
Indeed. So if I find my my list of altitudes and speeds over here.
Yep. While we're firing and flying,
we're below terminal velocity.
To give like more beautiful fractal lands and stuff.
There's a bunch of mods that add stuff, and there's like a mod that adds clouds, and there's a mod that adds a bunch of other things. I've only got a few mods running, partly because of performance reasons.
Ah, right, yeah. Because it does look. It's a bit bare down there, like a...
Yeah, and I mean, for performance reasons, I'm not even running the standard game at full detail, so...
Oh, right.
If I had a better computer, which is on the list, like always, then that would be different, but...
Yeah.
Anyway, let's see, we're just topped 3,000 metres at 150 metres a second. That's a little bit faster
run
than...
out this first stage boosters.
Then ideally we should be going, but it should be fine.
It should be good to watch them get kicked off, though.
5k is 160. Yeah, the solid rocket boosters have actually pushed us slightly faster than we ideally need to be going, but it's not a big deal. Hopefully.
Any moment now.
And they're about to flame out, and we eject them, and away they go. And we didn't
I'm
explode.
sure no one downstairs is going to worry about that at all.
We did not explode. Fantastic.
That is what we call in the trade progress.
So I'm just going to throttle down a tiny bit, because at 7,000 the ideal speed is 200 meters a second, and we're pretty much on the nail there. So, and at 8,000 it's 220, so I can actually bring it back up again. And as we get up into the thinner atmosphere, the acceleration will go up. At 10,000 feet, 260 is the most. 10,000 meters rather. 260 is the terminal velocity apparently, which we're about to hit.
Big fat spreadsheet for all this, isn't there?
Yes, there's a list, and beyond 16,000, it's kind of just keep going, because at 32,000 terminal velocity is 2,500 meters a second, which is quite a lot.
It's quite hefty.
So we'll just keep we'll do our turn and just keep burning up and watch the numbers climb. We've got a lot of delta V. We've got 2.9 kilometers a second left in this stage, apparently, which hopefully is enough. The entire rocket's got loads, so we should be good. Where are we at? 17,000.
Is it worth pausing to see how close we are to him? Or is
No. Well, he's at an orbit of 100 kilometers. We're a long way underneath him anyway.
Right.
So we need to get into orbit and then worry about rendezvous. You could potentially launch directly to rendezvous, but you would have to be more skilled than me. So I'm not even going to try it.
No?
Nah. Anyway, the other thing I like about Void is that we don't have to go to the map screen to find out where our apoapsis is, because it's right here.
That's nice.
So we can just watch it from here, and if it was daylight, obviously it would be a nicer view rather than the mostly black screen with rocket flare that we currently have. But
yeah,
I'm going to roll over a little more, because we're heading up into the thinnest part of the atmosphere now. And we're going to get about 100 kilometers apoapsis, and then cut their engines, and then we'll do a circularization burn once we're up. And then we'll see about trying to get a rendezvous. So that's going to hit 100k now-ish. And again, it's still, the apoapsis is now dropping because we've still got some atmospheric drag on. So
yeah,
but it's not actually very much because we're quite high up still. Look at the map screen. Well, that's actually, considering we just kind of went for it and hoped, that's actually not bad at all.
That is looking good.
I don't think we're going to meet him, but we can set him as the target and see. And we do need to be a little bit higher up if we're going to meet him anyway. So I'm going to raise our apoapsis some more till it's 100. Well, we can see here, this is first intersection of the orbits is here, and this is where the target's going to be when we intersect, because he's going to pass us, basically. But that's okay. And obviously our intersection position is apoapsis, because that's the closest we're currently ever going to get until we circularize again. But as I say, that's fine. So what we can do is start doing stuff with the maneuver node until the orbit is nice and circular.
Whee! There's lots of little icons flashing up all over the place. I'm expecting a klaxon at some point or something.
So we'll get a roughly circular orbit, which, or rather, yeah, it's 104, 100k over there, which is not too bad. And again, the first intersection is here, but the second intersection you can see is here, and it's actually closer. Separation of 122 kilometers there. Here it's separation of 133 kilometers.
Yeah.
So what he's, I think, going to be ahead of us. So what we need to do is we need to be in a slightly lower orbit, because that means we'll be going faster. And so we'll just orbit the planet, slowly catching up, and then we can try for a nice int section and
Fingers crossed.
see if we can't pick him up. How much fuel we've got left? We're still on the we're still actually on the ascent stage, so we should have enough to circularize, hopefully, or nearly enough. Just line that up. How's things looking? It's looking very dark. so it's really good that we've got all these batteries.
Oh, there's a couple of blue and orange points out there, though.
Yep.
It's not all just white and black.
Not just white and black.
Now brought to you in Technicolor, this flight.
Yep. Yeah, so probe cores, unlike manned capsules, use power constantly, which is why we've got a lot of batteries.
Various beeping noises.
Because there's a constant drain.
Yeah.
And we may have to go around through the dark side of the planet without firing any engines for a while, so we need a decent amount of battery power.
Yeah.
So anyway, we're about to do our circularization in another 30 seconds, which I can just quickly zip through. It's a 17-second burn, so we want to go at around 9 seconds in-ish. You can see the blue line, which is our actual orbit, growing.
Yeah.
This is us here, the rescue ship. There's Theohat.
Yep.
He's ahead of us.
Yeah. What's that little line pointing into the?
That's his position, and I think it may be that.
Oh right.
Yeah, I think it's just his position, and that marks his position over the surface. So this is the closest separation that we're going to get on this orbit, on the current orbit. And so when we hit there, he'll be there, and that'll be pointing at his position above the surface. And we're going to need to raise a little bit more. Right. So our next intersector's over here. So we can kind of whiz around and round quite a lot. We can, and we can adjust at various different times. We can also, his orbit is actually slightly inclined compared to ours. You can see the blue line and the yellow line don't actually quite match.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Which is why we have this ascending node here, which is where the hinge is, where the inclination changes. So that's basically, if you want to change your inclination, you change at the ascending or the descending node, and you can use the least fuel to get your plane changed there, and you'll line up properly. Whereas if you did it over here at 90 degrees away, then it would still be inclined wrong, but it would be inclined wrong more and in a different direction. So best avoided.
Yeah.
So we've still got some fuel left in the ship. I don't know how much we've got left in the ascent stage. We've burnt most of it, but that's fine because we're actually in orbit, which was the point.
Yeah. Now we just need to get down.
So what we can
grab him first, okay, I suppose.
Well, what I'm going to do, we've you know, the ascent stage has pretty much served its purpose. So what we actually want to do is detach it. So now we're on our much more nimble little rescue ship.
Yeah.
Which rotates much more in a much more nimble fashion. And that sounds cool. That's good. So we just have to kind of try and line up, and we can go to our. I mean, we've got this orbit is arranged such that his periapsis is right next to our apoapsis, which is
That's a big word.
Yeah, but just because it means that at the point where he's closest to the planet, or actually almost furthest away, so our orbit's more or less off entirely the wrong way. So we might adjust. Yeah, we'll burn a little bit to bring our periapsis up at this point, and maybe burn at periapsis to bring our apoapsis down, and try and line things up a little bit better.
So doing a bit of wibbly wobbly.
Yeah. So insect 2, 20.7. Okay. 37.7 is the next one. 20.7 is the one after that. We are getting closer. we relentlessly pursue him around the planet. Come back.
Well, it's a good job he doesn't need to breathe, and we don't need fuel for this.
Oh, right, and that one is 25 kilometers. So at this point they're getting further away again. So I think we're actually going to go past him somewhere in the middle of here. So this is this point at which we kind of want to line these up a bit better, because we've got because a 20.7 intersection is not great, and I'm not, as I say, I'm not 100% sure of how to get this quite right. We are close enough to the target now to have the nav ball in target mode. So what we can do here, I think, is it's not a brilliant separation, but we can get to this point and adjust our velocity relative to the target such that we don't get any further away from that.
Yeah.
At which point we can then start thrusting gently towards the target. So I think that's what we'll do. We'll wait for that to come around, and then we'll... Because you can see the speed relative to the target keeps dropping and dropping and dropping, and now it's going back up. Because we're now, I think we may actually now be passing him. Yeah, I think we are. So we need to burn on this vector, which is target retrograde, which is our speed relative to the target, because we're that close.
Yeah.
And the separation's actually coming down because we did burn past him, I think. I'm just burning very, very slowly along this vector. To bring our speed down. Down and down and down. Separation drops and drops. 14.4. Right, we are... Right, the closest position is now at 14 kilometers. We're moving at 0.9 meters per second relative to the target. We're still...
Can we have got like a little squidge of burn just to bring us closer?
We're still quite a way away, but I'm still kind of trying to bring our speed down to 0 relative to the target. But of course our orbit's not the same, so it's never going to be quite right.
Yeah.
But I think, I don't know if we'll get a marker. Yeah, that was a marker. There's a marker for the target right there. Which whizzed past us. And this pink marker is direction of the target from where we are. So what we can do now is just kind of burn right at him, which is not very fuel efficient, but it is kind of what we want to do. And what I think we also just did was adjust our orbit, so we're going to fall it back into the planet. Yep, we have.
Lots of tinkering.
And we also need to, at this point, prepare to slow down, because we're going 190 meters a second towards him.
That's quite fast.
Well, you can see the distance ticking down.
Yeah.
We've got 17 minutes to periapsis, but periapsis is in the middle of the planet at this point, so we need to be... Ideally, we need to have rendezvoused and sorted ourselves out before then, but we're going to be close enough for a rendezvous very soon. And then we want to slow down. And there, we can see his name now.
Whee!
4 kilometers out. Three kilometers. Getting ready to slow down.
So close.
I'm going to start slowing down at 2k out. Slowing down, slowing down, slowing down. Actually, we'll try and burn along the target retrograde vector. And that just changed, and I think we're back in a stable orbit again. I think that's what that change of camera positioning means. But we are now at 3 meters a second relative to the target. Which is not too shabby.
No.
He's still coming in, actually, so maybe we want to slow down a bit further. Let's get back onto that retrograde vector. I thought I might have overshot, but I didn't. Yeah, our periapsis is now back up at 100 kilometers. so we corrected the orbit with that deceleration relative to him burn.
Yep.
So now we're not going to crash into the planet anymore. Yay!
This is helpful.
So what we can do is, if I bring the relative speed down even further, just so that it doesn't go completely crazy. 0.2 meters a second is basically nothing, and we're actually moving slightly away from it. But I can press this button here, which is angle bracket, which is switch to next ship in range. It's him! It's Theohat.
Whee!
So now we need the marker for the rescue ship, which is there. Unfortunately, against the black surface of the planet, I can't see a damn thing. So, anyway, so this is him. If I press R, that turns his rocket pack on.
So we can actually start controlling the little swine.
So we can control them, and now the controls work in a similar way, but now we can kind of start boosting towards the ship. I cannot see a damn thing. But yeah, so basically like the up and down throttle buttons now actually move him vertically.
Yep.
And you've got forward, backward, left and right, as you might expect. So let's start cruising in towards the rescue ship here, on the night side of the planet where it's impossible to see anything. I can't even see him, so I don't. He'll always orient to face the camera direction, so I don't actually want to move the camera around too much because I'll start flying the wrong way.
Yeah.
But anyway, you can see the ship's coming in 300 meters away. I'll give it a little bit more RCS thrust. Come on, rescue ship.
Chug, chug, chug.
We're cruising in at maybe 4 or 5 meters a second at the moment. And I'm just basically using the motion of the little marker on the screen to work out how the ship is moving relative to us. So it was drifting upwards, so I gave him a little bit of an upward nudge so to just kind of stop that from happening. And once we get to within 100 meters or so, I should probably start slowing him down. The good thing about flying a Kerbal around in AVA is that there's not much mass, so it's very responsive to input. It's not like a rocket where you have to go, Right, there's the thing, it's now come so close that it decided it doesn't need to show us the bloody tag anymore, so now I can't see the ship. Really should have put some lights on it. Oh well. I will just put some decelerating on. Where are you, ship? We could always also just... there it is. I just saw its shadow against the edge of the planet. There it is. Right. The other thing we could always do is just wait. Try and slow to 0 relative velocity and just wait until the... Try and wait until the sun comes up, and then we'll be able to see the ship against the...
Where is the sun?
It's going to rise over the horizon.
So can we just like grind to a halt and then...
So I have tried to bring him to a halt relative to the target. I don't actually think I have done. But the sun's come up, so we may have flown past the ship. The other thing we can of course do is switch to the ship and see. By hitting this button. Where is Theohat? I have no idea. There he is. He's 120 meters away. That's actually not bad, given that I had no idea where the hell he was. So what I'm going to do is just boost the ship towards him a little, because he's actually moving away slightly. That is the wrong direction.
How much fuel has he got in his jetpack?
It's there's not a lot of fuel. It basically uses monopropellant, which is the same stuff you use for RCS in ships, I think. He doesn't have much, but he doesn't really need it. As I said, there's so little mass there that a single bunch of RCS fuel can last for ages. Oh, look, see that? We can see the ship. The sun is coming up. So I'm going to rotate the ship around a bit so that the door is easy to get to from when you're facing the planet. I'm trying to rotate it sort of like this. And then the sun is shining, hopefully. No, wait, spin it around. The sun's shining on the door. There we go. Right, hopefully now you can see the ship. There it is.
Whee.
Fantastic. Let's get over there right now. Thrust. So you can see he's got 4.6 left out of 5 EVA propellant in the thing after all this faffing about we've been doing. So it's really, there really is quite a lot. Okay, we're coming up on it now. Just correct some drift. Yay! Whoop, probably need to slow down a bit. It just becomes finicky at this point. You kind of need to get a little bit of forward motion and as little lateral motion as possible, which ideally you would do by remembering what the buttons do and not pressing the wrong ones as I've just been doing. But look, we're almost there. Almost there, look. Look at that.
Yeah, any
He's
moment
just
now he's
floating
going to smack into
straight
it.
in.
Seems quite fast.
I moved the camera, so grab. I pressed the grab button and he grabbed hold of it, and now he can board the ship. He's on board the ship. Yes!
Fantastic.
Amazing. So you can see he's been added to the crew roster, and we've completed the parameter of getting him on board a vessel. So we just need to complete the other part of the mission, which is getting him home safely. That should be no problem, right? Okay, so the space center is more or less here. We could try and bring it down there, but I don't know if I'm sufficiently capable. Anyway, where's our... Let's just deorbit this bloody thing and go to the retrograde vector and just burn retrograde. We have scads of fuel. We just need to
Technically speaking.
We do. We've got absolutely loads of fuel. We had.
It's a good thing if you want to get down.
Yes, if you don't have any fuel and you want to go out, well, that was Theohat's exact problem, in fact. Although he had enough, I think he had enough RCS fuel for his EVA's pack to be able to deorbit, but surviving the re-entry might have been an issue.
Yes.
So we're going to come down over the sea, and the atmospheric drag will bring us down. So we might land on this continent, or we might not. I don't even know. Whatever. Let's just go back to the spaceship and time accelerate. Beautiful sunshine, lovely spaceship hurtling in. Now we've dropped into the atmosphere, so we're back to physics-based time warping. But yeah, it took a bit longer than ideal. Granted, a few more orbits than we...
Yeah, about 400 or 500.
But on the other hand, he's not dead.
Yes.
So, so far, it's a 100% successful mission. There's still a chunk of the ship up in orbit somewhere as well, which we'll have to find and terminate from the space center, but that's not a big deal.
Yeah.
We're deorbiting. Woo! Right, where does it think we're coming down now? I thought the atmosphere would drag us down a bit more than it actually has. But, you know, we've still got some rocket fuel left that could slow us down even more.
That's crazy talk.
We're not even into the thickest part of the atmosphere yet, actually, so that may have been premature.
Down and down and down we go. Yeah, at this point it's just through the atmosphere, plummet and chuck the parachute out, really, isn't it?
Actually, the parachute's going to deploy soon anyway because it's already technically been activated. So it's going to go.
Someone pressed the button.
As soon as the pressure gets high enough, I think they're going to go. If we have a look at this, we can see.
Well, let's hope he doesn't fire now.
It doesn't actually say, but
that would be bad.
Blue, so I think that's already been activated. But you know, it should go off soon if that's the case. Otherwise, I'll just press the button again and hope. There they go. That's kind of what I thought was going to happen.
So parachutes aren't flammable then?
Nope. Nothing is flammable in this game as yet. So yeah, actually, look at that. Look at that down there.
Oh wow!
Space Center.
A great view for the people below. They can wave and cheer.
Flaming object hurtles through the sky overhead. So yeah, the parachutes are going to drag our lateral velocity down quite a lot. I think we may still be slightly overshooting, but I can fix that because we've still got rocket fuel. So I can just throttle up some more. Slow us down even further. That is, without question, the closest I have ever brought a ship back without launching it vertically off the pad and then just cutting the engines and allowing it to go back down again. After orbiting, this is by far the closest I've ever brought this ship back to the pad, so that's cool.
Yep, all good.
We can time accelerate this again. I've experimented a bit with the physics time warp with larger ships. This ship can probably keep going at 3 or 4 without any problem at all. Until we get quite low down, then we should probably turn it down again. Yeah, look at that. Not on the pad. In fact, if I hadn't done that last burn, it would probably have been closer, but whatever,
wow,
not too bad. Take a good look, folks. You may never see this again. Anyway, the parachutes will fully deploy at 500 meters above the surface, which is not very far away. And I'll just time up down to 1 just to make sure that's all lovely and happy. Brilliant. And we're going to descend at a stately 4.7 meters a second from that point on, which should be, I think, safe to land on the engine, and so nothing on this bit of the ship should get blown up, hopefully.
Hopefully.
It might still fall over and explode, I don't know. So down, down, down. And we'll do the last 30 meters at ×1. And bonk.
Yay!
Thud.
Nothing exploded.
Nothing exploded. I even had like almost half a tank of fuel left to slow the descent if I'd wanted to. So now we can recover this ship.
Victory!
Yay! A stark contrast to our previous episode.
Yes.
So we've recovered this vessel. That's worth basically nothing. We've been to orbit several times now. 0.3 science for that. Woo.
Yeah.
Recovered all these parts. That was good because we were 4 kilometers from the space center, so we got 97.8% of their value back.
That's good.
Which is good. And crew, Theohat. Extra 9 reputation for recovering Theohat.
Hurrah!
Hurrah! So, brilliant. A successful mission for us.
Hooray!
And we've got a new contract completion thing. We've got 55 grand for bringing Theohat safely back to the planet.
That's good stuff.
So we've got all this monies now. Splendid. What we may do next time is find the... is this one. This one right here. We could try that one. Explore the moon.
Ooh.
I think that would be a good one to go for. I think we've got all the bits that we need to make a successful moon thing. We've got a lifter that we know works. We can just bung some more fuel on it. And we've got that nice little engine for the lander. And so, yeah.
Yeah.
That should all be most splendid. So, thanks everybody for sticking with us through many, many orbits. And we'll see you next time.
Toodaloo.
Bye.